A pandemia acabou, mas nos Estados Unidos deixou uma marca que perdura até hoje. A desigualdade se tornou mais visível e mais latente, sobretudo nas grandes cidades. Recentemente, Nova York foi apontada como a mais desigual do país, mas o problema também atinge outros centros urbanos importantes, como Miami e Atlanta.
These are cities where there are two types of jobs, one that offers good salaries, benefits, stable hours, and the other are low wage and working conditions are not safe. And there's no reason why we should have low wage labor, especially since, the workers are the ones who produce the wealth, and they are the reason why businesses and corporations are profitable. And corporate leaders always complain that they cannot afford to raise the wages of their workforce. But yet they are enriching themselves and their shareholders with enormous payouts.
De fato, a disparidade de renda nessas cidades é tremenda. De acordo com dados da Social Data analisados pelo New York Times, em Manhattan, os 20% mais ricos têm uma renda familiar anual de mais de $550 mil. Do outro lado, os 20% mais pobres não chegam a $11 mil por ano, uma renda que é 53 vezes menor.
Inequality has grown in the United States for over the past 50 years, and it's one of the most unequal societies in the industrialized in the world. And I think this is a direct result of what I would call the 50-year counter-revolution that the country has undergone, where neoliberalism has become the dominant ideology.
Nos anos 80, o governo republicano de Ronald Reagan travou uma guerra contra os trabalhadores. O Estado atuou contra os sindicatos, enfraquecendo as organizações que garantiram ganhos à classe média nas décadas seguintes à Segunda Guerra Mundial. Esse momento histórico é fundamental para entender a desigualdade hoje.
There's two gaps that you can look at. One gap is between the poor and the middle class, or the working class. Another gap is between the middle class and the very rich. In America, a long time ago, when I wrote my dissertation on 1960 data, the most unequal states were states like Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, and that picked up the difference between the poor and the middle class. Now, there's still differences between the poor and the middle class, but what's grown enormously since about 1980 is the difference between the middle class and the very rich.
A desigualdade de renda gera também uma desigualdade política. Quem tem mais dinheiro influencia mais nos rumos do país. Uma realidade que não existe apenas nos Estados Unidos, mas em todas as sociedades capitalistas.
Research has demonstrated how the ultra wealthy are able to assert their political influence through because of their campaign donations and their lobbying efforts, and this just essentially makes democratic institutions unresponsive to the voters, and it would just basically erodes trust on democracy and society. And when you don't have democracy, you don't have freedom. So therefore, the more inequality, the less freedom we have.
David Jacobs vai além. Para o professor, que concorda que a desigualdade é um perigo para a democracia, ela pode também explicar parte do apoio recebido por Donald Trump na sociedade estadunidense.
At least part of the Trump support probably comes from frustration of those near the bottom or in the middle in flyover country, where manufacturing is completely left, where you no longer can get good jobs with just a high school degree. A lot of that frustration has caused the support of someone who is fundamentally anti-democratic.